And isn't it also about our understanding of professional football at the moment? Because if it's about the professionalism that we're experiencing right now, where you have a huge intake of money coming from huge organizations, then surely within this competition, these clubs with that big money will have the better means of getting better players and performing better. And as long as that's the sole focus of the game, it would always be hard for a more community-based club to compete, right?
Well, exactly. That's 100%. Like, it's basically we live in a time of very extractive processes that interact with our lives, and we don't really realize it, right? So, football, I think, the commercial element of football that like really showed itself badly in the last couple of weeks is a very extractive process. It's about taking money from fans and filtering that money up to either individual owners or shareholders. And that same, like that's we've kind of gotten used to it, right? Like, and to a certain extent, like, fans might say that their support and their investment in the club through buying merchandise and all of that enables the club to be a much better, enables them to spend more money and compete on the pitch. But it is also why you get labeled legacy fans, right? Yeah. And it's also why we need these nonsense notions. Like, the use of the word did make you sick, but the idea of a solidarity fund for clubs that are going to go into administration because you're going to do irreparable damage to the competition structure that they're a part of. But like, the idea that that's solidarity, that's a nonsense. Like, the very act of leaving is the opposite of solidarity, right? And it's an aggression. And real solidarity, we've kind of lost the sense of it. And I think football clubs, if you look at the origins of football within working communities all across Europe, it's about solidarity. It was at the beginning of the trade union movement. It was when things really were the opposite of what they are now, or well, actually coming off a slope similar to the one that we're currently rising up, which is like where there was great concentrations of power and wealth, and it was about trying to share that power and wealth out a little bit more and give communities a real sense of belonging and a sense of ownership and a sense of power. And that's, yeah, I think we've seen 30 years of that being eroded, not just here in Ireland, but across Europe. And I think the fans' response, a lot of people have said it's a shame that, and they're right, it's a shame that the same fan response that was mobilized and the fury that was mobilized against the Super League couldn't be done against racism. But then in all other aspects of life, the same thing has to be done. Like, the idea that we import vegetables that are picked by slaves, people who do not get paid for what they're doing, and we eat that in our shops all across Europe. And meanwhile, growers, farmers, people who would be able to promote decent and fair wages in Europe are going out of business. And it's the exact same extractive process. It's just in a different guise. And so I guess what would be lovely to think about as football fans across Europe is, how do we take that intensity that went into the resistance of the Super League and put it to fight some of the other very serious issues we're facing. And one of those is climate justice. And this is why the justice piece is important. It's about rectifying injustice. It's not good enough just to save the planet if we don't learn how to take care of people. That's the key point of this.